everyone, welcome again to the Leadership Lounge with the CEO magazine. I am Shweta and today we have an incredible guest joining us. I am excited to introduce Mr. Meghnand. He is a leadership coach, professional speaker, and strategic advisor. He has also been recognized as one of the most inspiring business consultants to watch. Through his deep work approach and innovative strategies, he has been empowering leaders and driving success for organizations. Let's welcome Mr. Meghnand. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm fine, Shweta.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. And I'm really excited about hearing about all the amazing works that you have been doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Shweta. Likewise, it's my pleasure to be here with you and sharing our or exchanging our thoughts.
Yeah. And I hope that in addition to learning more about your journey, uh, we, me and the audience, we both can learn some special insights from you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward for that.
Yeah. Okay. So to start things off, I'm curious to know about more the moment that you decided to switch to coaching and consulting. I mean, you have such an impressive career. You are a chartered accountant and a CPA, and plus you have experience at EY and KPMG. Those are some very good firms. So, what inspired you to move from these to founding your own consulting and coaching business?
So, Shweta, my journey was always a learning journey.
Okay.
Throughout my career, I have always learned things and wanted to move next
Okay.
after every year. So that was always a driving factor for me.
Mhm.
And over the years, I started realizing my own purpose along with developing my skill sets, my experience, and expertise in the domain. I also
Yeah.
started realizing my purpose for the overall life that I would want to spend. And these years, I realized that I would like to contribute for greater good. While I have developed skill sets of a consultant, of an auditor as a chartered accountant,
Yeah.
I decided to use those skill sets for greater good. That actually prompted me to actually look at coaching as a profession because
Mhm.
it has the potential to impact at a wider scale.
Yes. Okay. So the name of your organization, Shoonyas, it really stands out, uh, as a name of an organization, it stands out. It is just so unique. So I'm curious, was there a particular reason or inspiration why you choose this name?
Actually, it also evolved. As I mentioned, that I was more keen for making a larger impact and wider impact. And my definition of impact is only one thing, which is inside out transformation.
Okay.
So over the years, I worked with a lot of leaders. I have worked with a lot of business owners at all
Mhm.
levels
Mhm.
in India, at global level, MNCs, from startups to conglomerates. And I was observing the leaders, I was observing business strategies, I was observing people, I was also observing management, in addition to my core subject of international taxation and transfer pricing. So, what I started realizing is real transformation happens when you change inside out.
Yes.
So that was my clear proposition about transformation. It is all about inside out approach. So I wanted a name for the company which denotes starting afresh or looking at within first. So while I was in search of a suitable name,
Mhm.
the term called Shunya, which
Yeah.
is very Indian name. It is having
Yes.
origin in our ancient terms.
Mhm.
Shunya is nothing but starting point of
Yeah.
anything. It is, and it also denotes infinite potential. So if you add zero, which in Sanskrit or Hindi we call Shunya,
Hmm.
it gives 10x impact.
Yes.
So when you add 0 to 1, it becomes 10.
Mm.
0 to 10, it becomes 100.
Yes.
So 0 is a very powerful number
Yeah.
in the whole mathematics also. So I really resonated with this name that, okay, this denotes exactly what I wanted to do as a coach, that we will achieve transformational growth. And that's what
Yes.
Shoonyas denotes.
Yes. That's a very interesting theory, and it actually, what you told me, it actually makes sense also. Okay. So when you first started Shoonyas, what was the initial vision behind it? And now that we are sitting here and you look back at your journey, so how has that vision evolved over the years?
Sure. So as a person, my uh, philosophy is very simple. I always start with why. So when I started Shunyas, my why was clear.
Hmm.
I was not very clear about what and how at that point in time.
Hmm.
But why was very clear that whatever we will do it for a positive difference, a long lasting difference in someone's business, in someone's life. So the vision was very clear. The why, the purpose was very clear of Shunyas is whatever we will engage into, it
Hmm.
has to have a positive difference in someone else's business or life. So
Hmm.
that was the only direction for me. That was the only anchoring light for me when I started. Of course, I started very small. I started, first of all, to learn things myself because it was a new profession for me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to first grasp the role of a coach myself. And first
Yes.
1 year was absolutely devoted for grasping the whole domain of coaching. And therefore, my start was very interesting. I decided that I will coach at least 200 hours
Okay.
before I start charging a penny for it. So I have kept a target for myself, and I used to actually monitor my progress there,
Yeah.
that I will coach 200 hours first to grasp the role of a coach. I will coach people pro bono, which means free of cost.
Yeah.
I will invite them to cafes. I will go to their offices. I will have one-to-one conversations without any charge until I kind of knock 200 hours mark. And to my surprise, I decided it will take at least 1 year because I'm new in the industry.
Hmm.
Who would want to work with a coach who is new in the industry?
Yes, of
Correct.
course.
But to my surprise, that 1 year target was complete in 4.5 months.
Oh, that's impressive.
And that's where I got that confidence, that uh, further push within, that,
Hmm.
okay, this works. And it is not only within me, it works for the person whom I'm working with.
Okay.
So there was a validation.
Hmm.
My purpose was clear, my vision was clear, but now there was a validation also from the external world that it is working. So those were the initial days, and I would say first couple of years was lot of experimentation in terms
Yes.
of people whom we work with, businesses whom we work with,
Hmm.
the formats we work with, the methodologies of coaching that we work
Yes.
with. They're all experimentation in first 2 years, but that gave us a very solid foundation, Shweta.
Yes, I also think that coaching is somewhat like teaching. The more experience that you gain, the more you better you will become. Like,
100%.
yeah,
100% you are. Because you then deal with lot of different variety of thinking, thought processes.
yeah,
You deal with a lot of different personalities. You deal with a lot of different approaches. And that makes you also a better evolved coach.
yes, yes, yeah. So those 200 hours that you worked for free really paid off.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. So executive coaching or business coaching can take many forms, right? So I would love to hear your take. What's coaching is like at Shoonyas?
Sure. So as I was sharing about my own journey,
Yeah.
Shweta, and I realized that what worked for me personally
Hmm.
might work for others also. So while I have learned coaching techniques from my formal syllabus of coaching, of course,
Hmm.
they are very useful, 100%. They are a guiding post.
Yeah.
However, as a coach, I have devised my own methodology because that is what the beauty of coaching, because it is very personal
Hmm.
and it is very human centric. So you cannot have a very standard black box
Yeah.
that this will work with you and this will not work with you.
Hmm.
So I have tried to apply my own philosophy that what worked for me to transition from one role to another role
Yes.
might help for many. And I started experimenting, which worked. And the philosophy was simple. It can be summarized in two approaches. Approach one, always start with why. So why, what, how. WWH
Hmm.
is one methodology that I follow, that whenever we work as a coach, we first focus on the why,
Yes.
meaning the purpose,
Hmm.
meaning the vision. So when I work with a business, when I work with a business owner, an entrepreneur, a CXO, a good amount of work, first of all, goes into validating, reclarifying the why.
Hmm.
What do we want to achieve? But the most important, why do we want to achieve this? What is going to be achieved after doing this?
Yeah.
So why becomes in the central fork. Then comes what. To achieve this why, what are we going to do?
Hmm.
Then it is all about strategic thinking then.
Yeah.
And then the third layer is how. When are we going to do this? Who will do this? What are
Yes.
the mediums of doing this, etc. So that is all tactical thinking.
Hmm.
So it is three-layer work. Number one, why, which is more long-term driven, which is really heart-centric. Then what,
Hmm.
which is strategic thinking, and then how, which is tactical thinking. So this is one approach, and that coupled with, and which further resonates, is inside out. And exactly it is same. Meaning what you need to first work on is the core most factor, right? Inside.
Yeah.
And that is your purpose, that is your vision. Once it is clear, crystal clear, then your what and how is slightly easier to work out.
Yes. Okay. So while going through your website, I came across a term, deep work.
Mhm.
So it really sounded fascinating and not something that I am actually aware of. So our listeners would also want to know what it means and how it's different from other coaching methods that are out there.
Okay. Sure. I would say deep work actually resonates the whole approach, which means we will not do anything which is superficial
Okay.
and which will have temporary effect.
Hmm.
Say, for example, many a times companies do approach me saying that, sir, we face this problem. Can
Hmm.
you help us solve?
Yeah.
Now, as a coach, my first role is to understand whether they want to address this problem from the root,
Hmm.
or they want to just wanting to do a superficial solution to it.
Yeah.
Whether there is an intention to work on the roots and the real cause, or the
Hmm.
only intention is to make a temporary fix. So once we go deeper with them and we understand that there is a real intention to work out things from the bottom, from the root of things, so that the results are sustainable. So deep work is nothing but going to the roots of any situation. So, and that's why I generally relate coaching with a pill which
Yes, of
is
course. That
to be
that's what
taken.
exactly came into
Hmm.
my mind because we are treating the root cause first.
Hmm. Absolutely right. If you really focus on the roots and the
Hmm.
real cause, the results that you get are long lasting and sustainable. That is what the role of a coach is, right?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
And it applies equally to executives in their personal life as well
Hmm.
as to businesses, because businesses are no different than the people.
Yeah. Businesses are, I think they are an entity themselves. Each and every business
Absolutely
is
right.
an entity. So the
Correct.
problems are the same sort of, but yes, they are same.
Yeah, maybe just to give an example to possibly
Yes, of
expand
course.
this, Shweta.
Hmm. Yeah,
See,
it's
deep work, I'll narrate with few examples so that we relate with this concept better.
yes, of
Uh,
course.
one of our coaching client approached us in the beginning saying that, sir, last 5 years, we are stagnant
Hmm.
in terms of our top line.
No.
What should we do? That is a
Hmm.
simple problem statement a businessman has.
Hmm.
Now, as a coach, if I give him an answer that, okay, we will be able to do it together,
Hmm.
we will work with you for 6 months
Hmm.
and you will achieve your growth. It is not a coaching approach.
No, of
The
course.
coaching approach is, first of all, okay, I hear you, but
Hmm.
let us try to understand why have you not grown for 5 years? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, what does growth means to you? I mean, for some, growth might be only in revenue. For some, it might be revenue as well as profits. For some, it might be growth in terms of your brand presence.
Yeah.
So there are different connotations even to the term as simple as growth.
Hmm.
So what is your definition of growth? Number three, why do you want to grow? Again, why comes first?
Hmm.
Why do you exactly want to grow? What are you going to achieve by growing your top line, say 3x or 2x from now?
Hmm.
What are your plans with this growth? Number four, are you want to grow alone or are you open with a collaborative growth, which means are you open to take other stakeholders along and grow together?
Hmm.
So all these questions in the initial stage itself give us that whole 360-degree view that what exactly needs to be done for this company to grow over next 2 years. And this is what Shweta deep work is all about.
Yeah.
Looking at things uh, with the required depth as well as with the required width. I hope I was able to
Yes, yes,
articulate
of
my
course.
approach here.
Yeah. Yes, you did. You did quite well. I'm sure, like I am clear on the topic now, everyone listening to us would be so. Okay.
Super.
So again, as I told you, I was going through your website and uh, in there, I read the importance of strategic consulting. And I'm not
Mhm.
sure if it is pronounced like the way I am going to pronounce it, or is this sort of I have to pronounce every letter separately. But what do you say, VUCA and BANI world? Is it pronounced
Mm.
like that, or are there
Yeah.
any other
No,
ways
you're
to
right.
pronounce it? Okay,
You're right.
I am I'm going to be honest, I don't have any idea what these words mean. And like me, there are many listeners of our who would also be unfamiliar with these. So can you please break down what these terms mean and how businesses can tackle these challenges?
Okay, great. So I think you have really researched quite interestingly.
Yeah,
That's what I must say
yeah.
before our conversations today. So, if you have gone through different business cycles, a business owner
Hmm.
understands that times are not same,
Yes.
correct?
Hmm.
Possibly the time when I started my business, the
Yeah.
situations were very different,
Hmm.
internally as well as externally.
Yeah.
And as we progress as business, the world changes at much faster speed than you change. So VUCA and BANI are nothing but terms which demonstrate the nature of our world at this moment, especially business world, which is nothing but the reflection of our overall uh, surrounding. So VUCA is nothing but a short form of every single letter denotes something. V stands for volatile, U stands for uncertain, C stands for complex, and A stands for ambiguous. So this is the word which denotes that, in simple terms, the world in which we are operating right now is very, very dynamic.
Yeah.
And the strategy that I have thought through maybe 2 years back, a year ago, may or may not suit to the world which is today, and most importantly, the world which is going to be there after 1 year.
Yeah.
Similarly, now the next version of VUCA world is BANI. Now, BANI is nothing but another interesting word which stands for brittle. B stands for brittle. A stands for anxious. N stands for non-linear. And I stands for incomprehensible. Now, here also, every letter, every word denotes that the world is changing at a very, very fast pace.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the essence of this whole terminology. And that calls for a very active, alert, attentive, and proactive approach from the business leaders. So the role of strategic consulting now. Why there is a place for strategic consulting? The only reason is because when you are involved in the business, there are high chances that you might not be able to see the future from distance because you're already involved. So a strategic consultant is needed to look at things from the distance, look at things with a neutral, objective, unbiased lens. Look at your business, look at your strategies from a point of view of actually evaluating them with a very neutral mindset and give you inputs that, okay, these are the things that you are not doing, which are must to address this constantly changing world of tomorrow. That is why a strategic consultant is important in the whole business world.
Okay. So in addition to all the other accomplishments that you have achieved, you have also written a book, The Simple Path to Freedom and Success. So can you share with us what it is about and what inspired you to write a book? Like writing a book is quite a, like long-term commitment. It requires so much of time and patience. And, like starting is another thing, but actually completing is it quite a feat. So what actually the book is about and what inspired you to write it?
Yeah, thanks for this. Actually, the reason was very personal. And this is in real sense, this book is actually my personal purpose. I mean, it serves my personal purpose. As I was sharing, over the years of my life, as I was developing my skill sets and my expertise in the domain, somewhere I feel even my outlook towards life was also getting expanded. I want to put it this way, my heart also was expanding, which means I wanted to contribute the whole purpose, which I started realizing over the
Just a
years.
second, sir. Actually, there was some network issue and your voice was like the video was paused for a few seconds. So can you repeat the answer again so we can cut
No
this
problem.
part? Yeah.
No worries. So, over the years, while I was expanding my skill sets and my expertise in the domain, my outlook towards life was also expanding. And I wanted to do something for the greater good.
Yeah.
One of the area in which I personally was benefited a lot
Hmm.
is a personal daily practice of meditation.
Okay.
It is with me for years, and I give all credit of whatever courage I could show in my personal life, in my professional life, whatever calmness I have developed over the years, the ability to possibly take a pause and take decisions which are for the long term, etc. All the credit I generally give to my personal daily practice of meditation. So my purpose was now to spread the practice of meditation, and not only the practice, but the whole science behind it to many, so that it benefits many. So in 2016, when I attended one 10 days Vipassana course, at that point in time, one thought crossed my mind that the way you are benefited, why can't you share to the world? And that simple thought was a seed to write this book. Now, this book took almost 6 months for me because I was working, and finding out time
Yeah.
to pen down your thoughts is slightly difficult.
Yeah. Hmm.
But as I said, because of the push of my vision and purpose and calling, whatever name we gave, uh, it it happened. It happened, and in 6 months, I penned down all the thoughts. And
Okay.
the book is all about inner clarity. The book is all about inner freedom, and the book is all about inner peace and happiness.
Okay. Okay. So it has been really great talking to you. And as we are starting to wind down, I would love to hear your thoughts on a couple more things before we wrap up.
Sure.
Okay. So simplifying complexity is easier said than done. Okay, so from your experience, what strategies or mindsets would you recommend to help leaders or, people like me who are not there quite yet? So yes. So what would you recommend us to cut through the noise and navigate today's business challenges effectively?
Oh, great. It's a really, really insightful question. I mean, the question itself is so insightful. I'm sure that it will bring in a lot of insights out.
Okay.
So, so the whole idea of addressing these business challenges
Hmm.
is about taking some pause. Most of the time we are so continuously on the go.
Yes.
We don't give enough space for those ideas to flourish from within. And first of all, the step is to take some pause, to create some space
Okay.
within, as well as in your business, as well as in your career. Because space actually gives a chance for solutions to emerge. Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
So the first step is creating that space. Number one. Number two,
Hmm.
once you have a space, then you can really look at the problems, look at the challenges with objective mindset without getting involved.
Hmm.
That's where possibly for some it is easy. They just needed space.
Yeah.
For some, for some it is very difficult,
Hmm.
and I acknowledge that difficulty. That it is very difficult to self be self-critical on your own situation and be self-critical on your own decisions. Correct,
Yeah.
and that's where then the help of coach comes into picture. That the coach will help you look at things with objective mindset and neutral mindset, unbiased mindset.
Hmm.
Number three, now this is very important. Many a times we are overwhelmed with the situation at hand.
Yeah.
That's where simplicity works, which means while you might have a target of achieving 100,
Hmm.
correct? But instead of getting overwhelmed with the target of 100,
Yeah.
it is about breaking that target down in smaller chunks. That is what simplicity is all about. that, okay, in order to achieve this, what
Hmm.
should I do first?
Yeah.
What should I do second? What should I do third?
Hmm.
So when you break down the whole situation in smaller chunks, it becomes manageable,
Yes.
and it also becomes real and practical.
Hmm.
Achieving those smaller milestones, generally, I also give it a name called a power trigger, which means very small changes which give larger results.
Hmm.
So identifying those smaller changes at personal level, at professional level, at business level also, smaller
Hmm.
changes. And there is
Hmm.
power in small.
Yeah.
Generally, you would have heard this concept already. Less is more,
Yeah.
which means you focus on low, minimum things,
Hmm.
less amount of things, which can give you maximum results. So identifying those smaller chunks, those and energy make things possible.
Yeah.
This is the approach of cutting through complexities and achieving results, uh, Shweta.
Okay. Okay. My last question to you would be, looking ahead, what are your future plans and aspirations for Shoonyas? Like, where do you want to see yourself in the coming 5 years?
Wow. So I'll go back to my original vision because
Yeah.
I'm attached with my why.
Hmm.
I am not attached with my what and how, which
Yeah.
means why is very clear. Vision is absolutely clear that we will do things which will add positive difference.
Yes.
Now, that the path we have already decided.
Yeah.
Now, our decision is to multiply our impact, which means to do more of what we are doing. Which means now the next plan of Shunyas is to start group coaching work for set of entrepreneurs together. Now, another plan is to develop technological solutions
Hmm.
wherein people can get coached in DIY model, which means do it yourself.
Hmm.
Because as a coach or a team of coaches, we might not be able to help as many lives and as many businesses as we want
Yeah.
in our human capacities.
Hmm.
So now the next plan over a couple of years is to use technology to the best advantage in the coaching world and create those technological coaching solutions wherein 75% of the work will be done by yourself with the help of
Hmm.
our tool. Balance 25%, we will be at your disposal as a coach. That's our next version now.
Okay, so it was really great talking to you. And thank you so much for, I know you have a very busy day ahead of you, but thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. Likewise, Shweta. I really appreciate having this conversation because it sometimes, having a conversation like this reinforces your purpose, right? So
Yes, of course.
that's what happened with me today. So thanks to you for
Yeah,
this conversation. And I wish you all the best. The CEO magazine, which is also doing a great job
yeah.
uh,
Thank you so much.
promoting good work all across. So I wish you all the very best, Shweta, to you personally and to the organization.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.